What's up, people? Welcome back to the Blossoming Chronicle. And for those of you who've come back another week to listen to another story, thank you so much. And I was really amazed to take a look at all of the comments. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to YouTube or Spotify, just go and subscribe. And if that's too much of commitment to watch a complete episode, you can also, watch the tidbits of the episode on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook as well. But all the lazy asses, please subscribe. I trust everyone is doing really great in their lives. And stay tuned to the end of this episode. If you're not doing fine, you definitely will be. Today, we are going to talk about accountability. And accountability is something that I'm most struggling with these days. And it is also something which it is bringing me gratification. And accountability is really important to whatever we do in life. In this show, I'm trying to bring people who are ready to be vulnerable and honest, because that is the only way I think we can actually connect with people. So today we're in conversation with Jacob Beecham. Born in Chicago, raised in San Francisco and Austin, Jack has grown from a cute outside, devilish inside kid to a macho outside and a sweet inside amazing soul. This guy went from a college dropout to a Facebook engineer. Yeah, guys, Facebook. One day, sitting in a coffee shop, he said, "Hey there," to a random stranger that led him to working on a supercomputer and eventually for Facebook and Instagram in 2018. As cool as it sounds, he's got it all. Now, boom, in 2021, he quit Facebook. Why? How? Is he crazy? Is he out of his mind? No. Jack is someone who surrounded himself with healthy habits and habits that have had a commendable impact on his physical and mental health. The silver lining to quitting his job is that today he's created his own habit tracker app called Boost, which holds him and procrastinators like me accountable for our habits. That said, just like your data can be used to boost your company goal metrics, your data can and should be used to boost your own goal metrics you set for yourself. Let's dig deeper to get to know more about his app and his vision and what goes on in his head 24/7. Welcome to the show, Jake Beecham. Yay! Welcome.
Hey,
Hi.
Johnny. Thanks for having me.
So how have you been and how is US?
I've been pretty good. US is good. Austin's awesome. It's cooling off because we're entering the fall, so that's pretty exciting.
Okay. And so how far have you come on your app?
So I made a TikTok the other day,
Okay.
and I just started my account, but that last video kind of blew up.
Okay.
So we're getting in some users, which is really exciting.
Okay. That's really amazing. And if you have to kind of summarize, how do you actually feel right now, working on your app? How would you summarize it as?
Yeah, I think when I first quit, and then those first few weeks of just straight coding the app, that was one of the best moments of my life because you're working on something that you've always wanted to work on.
Yeah.
And then you're just in this flow state, I think. So the feeling is awesome. I hope it lasts forever.
Okay, so is it a feeling that is giving you some highs?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely highs.
Okay, I see. That's amazing. And since we are going to talk about, accountability, and when I read some of your captions, I thought that, this should be the theme for the episode. And this is all about your app, of course. And so I'd like to know that who are you most accountable to in your life?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably the real answer is myself.
Okay.
But the longer answer is the people that are really close to me.
Right.
So whether my parents, my siblings, my really close friends, significant other, things like that.
Okay.
Because you just really want to make them proud, and if you say you're going to do something, I think that that's always in the back of your head. Like, you got to do it if you said you did it, especially to them. And then to a lesser degree, I think that's just, everyday people that you interact with, the people that I'm building the app for, things like that. So.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree. But the first line that you said, you're most accountable to yourself, that is, I think, really like the most important part, because I think every day you wake up and you think that you're gonna create your to-do list and you have to do just check, check, check. And so yes, I think you have to be the most accountable to yourself. Yeah, that's like really nice. And so how has like the transition been from that 9 to 5 to a full day hustling maneuver? Like I mean your the mental transition, because that is really important, the mental transition.
Well, I think one of the big things is that, like, when you go from working at a company where you have a manager and coworkers to like starting a company for yourself where there's no like position higher than a CEO, then your accountability does have to fall kind of on yourself and your users and the people that you're building for. So that's been a pretty big mental shift, but I think it's actually even better for me because when you're building something that you're really passionate about, and you really want to make successful and to help people, I think that it's easier to get started and it's easier to like keep going. So you don't need that like external accountability when you're working on something that you believe in.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. And sometimes we think that, okay, we want something, but maybe we want it or we don't want it. But I'd like to ask you, because like I'm just 21 years old, and sometimes when I think that I want something, but actually I don't want it. So like, what was it like for you to recognize that, okay, this is something that, I actually believe in, and maybe this is something I'm not just fooling around about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely normal to think you want something, but then like you're not really sure if you want it because you want all these different things, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that we want, especially when you're younger. I'm still pretty young, but like I think for young people in general, it's like if you want something, just prototype what it's like to go and achieve that or get that. And then once you have that sense of like that initial first step, look at the things that you really want to keep going with. And so when I was thinking about starting Boost, I looked at all my past experience with like the things I liked, the things I was good at, and the things that I really wanted, and also timeline played a big factor in that. When quitting and starting a company. So yeah, I think everything just lined up, and the risk is pretty low. So yeah, I just said, let's jump in and do it and see what happens.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and in fact, because I follow like many people on productivity, and Ali Abdal is one of them, who's a YouTuber, and he's like, if you want to do something, just get into it for like just 2 minutes, like not with your app, but in general, just get into it for 2 minutes, and then you will enjoy doing it. So that's pretty much evident for me when like about exercising. Like, I don't know, getting my ass off my bed is just one of the most difficult things, but doing it for 2 minutes, just makes it like worth it. I think you've had like a lot of experiences, like with a lot of people. You've like interacted with people, like people from around the world, and like for the businesses to thrive in these days, be it a business or a startup, anything, and you need to build like a community first, and commerce second. So I think you've someone who I think has that community, maybe not online, but in general you have people. Okay, and like for me, it's like through this podcast I'm building my own community. So how is like your business embarking upon that, like on that journey through that community?
I mean, the one thing I would say is that like the people that you surround yourself with have a big impact on the way you feel, your day-to-day like actions and things like that. Like your environment plays a big role in how your life goes.
Yep.
And so I'd say that, like, you know, when I was younger, as a troublemaker, as you said,
Yeah.
like my community was a lot different than how my community evolved throughout the years.
Yep.
And so I think at Facebook, my community was awesome. Like I loved working with all my coworkers, and just seeing the impact that we made. And now my community is more like talking to investors and other co-founders, and people who are kind of on a similar train of thought as me. And you know, I love facilitating that community and growing that and making those relationships stronger. And I think that like I met you on Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
And so you're a part of my community now.
Yeah.
And that would have never happened without like some kind of internet thing where we realized that we kind of had similar goals, and then we could connect with each other, to, you know, boost each other up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know, you're a part of my community as well. So it's like when I was talking to you, like your conversation with me was more about, you know, like the productive stuff we were doing. Like you asked me that, you know, what are you using your Instagram for? And you know, about this podcast, people have also asked me, how much money have you started making? So that just makes me go, you know, okay, so from here to here. because that is not the message I'm trying to bring out through my podcast. And you know, this is the difference I see in perspectives of people when I meet all them, but that's really important, you know. And so yeah, I hope I meet more people like you. And okay, so you answered the question very well. And what were like the epiphany moments for you when you were kind of deciding to build on this app, and where, you know, okay, so for me it's like, you know, 5 to 6 things happen for me to realize, okay, this is not for you, okay, or maybe this is for you, you know. So I connect the dots and I get to know, okay, so what were those epiphany moments or short anecdotes you'd like to share?
Another huge moment was for me was I looked at how big tech companies, you know, write their algorithms and they use data to achieve their company goals. And I was like, why don't we do that to achieve our own personal goals? So that was a huge moment for me. There's a lot of things I learned working at Facebook that I'm directly applying in the Boost app, which is it's how a lot of big tech companies rank content. And so they rank it based on like how likely you are to click a piece of content, like whether it's YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. But you can rank it in ways that increase your own metrics. So if you want to exercise every day, that's like a metric that you can look at. Did you exercise or did you not? Or like number of times per week that you exercise. And so you can rank the content based on the probability that you're going to see it, maybe get some information or motivation from it, and then that's going to lead you to exercise. So you pick the goal that you want to optimize the app for.
Yeah, like that's the perfect answer I was looking for. And you know, no, that's true. And this is like pretty much true. Like I don't have anything like against, like, you know, the 9 to 5 thing. But it's like I do observe that, like, when I do not have anything, like when I achieve something which is made by me to achieve my goals, it brings like far more gratification, and I like totally get it. And yeah, like very nice. Okay. So the next question is that I saw one of your Instagram posts where you had written, if you've ever tried quitting a bad habit or creating a good one, I've been there. So what was that one, like, good or bad habit, like, you know, which has really had some influence on, like, you know, your mind, your mindset, you know, maybe good or bad? Okay, share one good and one bad.
Yeah, so one bad one, and this one's like, I don't even like to talk about it just because like it has such it's so bad for you, which is when I was like a teen and a little bit like starting in my 20s, I used to smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
And that was terrible, right? So I knew it was bad. Like everyone that smokes knows it's bad. But it does be like you do get that nicotine addiction.
Yeah.
And it's super hard to quit. Like it took
Yeah.
me years. But I think the key point is that you want to replace bad habits with good habits.
Yep.
That kind of have, I don't know if it's like a similar effect or what, but like it's like you get this cue, and then you get this craving to smoke a cigarette, and then you get the reward, which is like you feel less stress.
Yeah, the dopamine thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of chemicals there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but somehow I watched a YouTube video on meditating.
Okay.
And I tried it, and it was awesome. Like, I don't know if that happens for everyone. I don't think it does, but like, I tried it and it was awesome. And I felt like a lot more balanced after I did it the first few times. And then after a while, like, I didn't even, I don't know, when you feel really balanced and really thinking clearly, you look at all the other actions in your life that you're taking, and you have a clear head to like reflect on whether or not you are going down the right path and things like that. And so, kind of in a general sense, I kind of replaced smoking with meditating, and that was all because like I learned how to do it on YouTube. And so I thought, like, you know, if you have this goal or this habit that you want to either get rid of or create, just set that goal, and the content should come to you. Like that YouTube video should pop up because I set that goal, not because I like randomly came across it on a website or just like typed it in or something like that. I think that ranking and is it could be really beneficial. So.
No, that's really amazing, because I think meditation is a tool for like many people. You know, I'm really bad at that because I have so many thoughts. Okay, this thought. So it's really difficult for me to meditate. But for me, it's like exercising, and maybe just taking a walk. And I think that's really important. And like, I think pandemic for me was like the waking point for that, because I had like developed a pot belly, and so my mom was like, okay, just go and take a walk, you know, burn some calories. And you know, I really had this bad addiction, like literally addiction to, like, you know, you have those sugary drinks, like the fizzy drinks you have, you know. And so it has such a lot of sugar and it has such a lot of calories. So like quitting that for me was like the biggest part. And you cannot taper the, you know, okay, I'll drink less of it. You just can't do that. Either you're in it or you're not. So it's like, but it's really difficult. And you know, it's really nice that you quit it.
Yeah, I call that pop. A lot of people make fun of me and they call it soda. So I guess you can meet in the middle and call it soda pop. But
yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, you can call that soda. Like in India, you have like a drink called Thumbs Up, okay? And it's like a fizzy drink. It has a lot of sugar, and people usually have it with whatever, you know, your McDonald's burgers and everything. And at McDonald's, this yeah.
That's pop.
So like that is, and you know, that is the most, you know, more dangerous thing to your health, because you have it over a burger and then that sticks to your intestines. So there is also one more thing that, you know, there is a lot of like, I'd say crap going on going on about, you know, the entrepreneurial brilliance and, you know, all of that. And you know, as cool as it sounds, okay, so I'm one of those people who looks at these videos and think, okay, I'm gonna make something, but that just like, you know, vanishes in like, you know, one night. And so it's like, as much as people are talking about it, I understand that, but you also need to realize that it comes with like a lot of risks, and it also comes with like a lot of responsibility. It's not like you have less people to be accountable to, it's like you have more people to be accountable to. And also, you need to be at a financially stable position. Like in your case, that was the case. So would you like to give any advice to someone who is like, you know, just starting out, like maybe, or deciding to quit their job or something like that, to, you know, like, just don't go in, you know, like with nothing in your hands?
Yeah, so definitely see the allure of like entrepreneurial, the lifestyle that you see on Instagram and YouTube and things like that. Yeah. And you know why you see that is because it grabs your attention, right? If you see somebody with a private jet and like $1 billion, like your eyes look at that and you click on it. But that doesn't mean that it's the most healthy content for you to see. So I would say that that you need to take it like realistically, and I think that's so that kind of motivation, which is mostly financial based, like it lasts for a little bit, but hard times come, and if you're not working on something that you're really passionate about, then you're not going to keep going. At least from my experience and like what everyone says. So I think if you want to be an entrepreneur and you think you want to quit your job, like you really need to weigh the risks and the reward potentially, and not just have that one epiphany moment. It needs to be like something that you really want to work on, and a problem that you really want to solve. So I would say, if you have like a good savings, if you have like a good fallback plan, so say, the world turns upside down and you really need to get a job or something like that. Like, can you do that pretty quickly? And then like, I think the biggest one is the why. So why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want to build the product or the service that you're quitting your job to build? Like, are you determined to work on that for the next, like, at least 3 years? Probably more. And if it doesn't work out, like, are you going to be happy that you did that? So I think Jeff Bezos talks about this thing called the regret minimization framework. Which is he even says it's a nerdy thing to say, but I think it's super, I think it's really valid. And so if you have this thing that you want to do, which it could be staying at your current job or it could be quitting to start a business, which one, looking forward, would you regret not having done more? And you want to kind of minimize that regret. So, if you quit your job and you have no savings and like you're all over the place with what you want to do, like you don't know if you want to be a content creator, if you don't know if you want to be a coach, you don't know if you want to do Amazon dropshipping or whatever the latest thing is. I think that you might regret that more if it fails and you don't get anything out of it, like from a fulfillment perspective, or if it fails and like, if it just gets too hard to work on and then, so I would say like, look at what you really want in life and what you think is going to help you feel fulfilled. And then that kind of let that be the guider.
Yeah, and I think there's also one more question, which is like, you ask yourself that what if, you didn't do blah, 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 and what would happen by that, XYZ, and how much, not doing it would dissatisfy you actually, what if? So answering that what if is like kind of important. Yeah, and I'll like follow that regret minimization. Like it's like a really good point. And are you one of those people who like plan a lot? Or are you one of those people who, go like scrappy? Like I am one of those people who prefers growing scrappy because, like I think to some extent I am an extremist because before releasing like one episode or like anything on the internet, I just go so much into it. But I think, okay, probably if I go, that much into it, maybe I'll never release it, And so many people just release it, having done it up to 75%. And people think it's more than that, actually, but it's actually not. And so do you plan a lot? Are you more of a scrappy person?
Yeah. So there's two sayings that come to mind. One of them is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Okay.
And then kind of there's an opposite saying, which is like, there's this thing called analysis paralysis. And so I think it's super important to do both. I think it's important to plan and kind of have this long-term vision, or even just like a short-term vision for what you want to do for the day,
Okay.
or how you want a podcast to go. But once you get that kind of initial plan, and you weigh the risks and rewards, to the best of your ability with the information that you have, then just like you have to have a bias towards action. You can't get stuck on, the very fine details of like what questions you're going to ask in a podcast exactly, and like because you don't know what's going to happen during when you're doing when you're doing what you're doing. So like you could ask a question and I could say some answer that's like completely out of the blue, and then like it throws off your whole plan for the rest of the podcast. So there's a cost benefit of like a trade-off between like planning a ton, and then once you dive in, like everything goes to crap or whatever, as they say. And then all that planning was kind of for nothing, right? So yeah, I think it's a good balance. But I would say I tried to have that balance. I do plan, I start with kind of a plan for what I want to do in my lifetime, and then what I want to do, in the first half of my lifetime, what I want to do over the next 3 to 5 years, what I want to do this year, and then pretty much like down to what I want to do this week. And I think the closer it is that it gets like down to what you're going to do in the next 5 minutes or something, I think that's where you can get more detail. So the less far out the goal is, or the journey that you want to take is, as you get closer to where you are in the present, that's where you can get a little bit more detail.
Okay. I agree with that on you, but partially because, because, I am like more of this person, like when I was going to start this podcast, I think just the idea of talking to people and learning from them was appealing to me. That was the reason I started this podcast. But now it's like, when I actually released the trailer video, after that, my vision sort of became that, okay, through this, I can establish my personal brand. And, but when I actually go on planning, okay, so this will be my next step, this will be my next step. So I like kind of hamper the creativity I have in myself. And like, that's just for me. Like, that is something that I apply to myself only. I think many people go, planning for, okay, this, like, especially people who are into like, this degree after degree after degree. So like many people go that way. Like for me, it's like a little bit different, but I completely agree with you. Like, you need to have like you can have like a bird's eye view to the long term thing, and then you can just forget about it and work on the small ones, that's it. And also, because building a company, it's like, okay, sounds, fascinating, building a company. Okay. So, but, I think as cool as it sounds, and it's like, you're working by yourself only, like creating content and, designing everything, coding and everything. So you're doing everything by yourself only, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so my strategy there was like, or my thought process there was like, a lot of people say, and this is probably definitely true, given the stats, like you should have a co-founder before you quit your job and try to start a company. But I didn't know anyone that was as passionate about this as I was. Exactly. And so I just wanted to see what I could do just by myself, and then like meet those people along the way. And so who knows like what'll happen. I think that having the bias towards action is getting me a lot. I'm growing a lot more than if I would have stayed and like just tried to, find a co-founder. So who knows? Like maybe I'll meet someone. Maybe I won't. As far as co-founder, but I don't think that's. I think I would have. I think I've grown a lot more than if I would have stayed at my job. So I'm happy about that.
That's very, very important, because if you like want to build something, it's like you just can't kind of outsource it, and it's like you have to see that in your work, like from like anything from like in your app. It can be like, I feel that in your content, because I do not follow many pages on Instagram, but it's like, if I feel that okay, if there is some simplicity, you will get to know that the person who is like completely into it has created it. And so if you have to build something you're really passionate about, you can't just outsource it in the beginning. So that was like something I wanted to ask, because sometimes people think that to build a company, these many people, and this one for editing, or you need someone to plan, to create a to create a logistical document or something. But like, that's not true. Like, okay, really nice.
Yeah, I think, it's important to, like, if you like, you can't outsource the vision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't outsource the vision. Okay, perfect. What were like the noises in your head when you were kind of just thinking this through? Because like for me, like I have like a lot of noises, this, like I'm working, and I think I'm doing pretty well on like getting through those noises. What was your strategy, and what has like the energy of people been for you through this, and how have you like tackled with those noises? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the noises in my head. So by noises, I assume that you mean like kind of the doubts that you have, or like all the things that are popping up along the way.
I mean, both the doubts and also like the external noises of people, like both. Like obviously you have self doubts, and then you have noises of people. So
yeah. So I mean, that's a good thing to have thoughts popping up that are like potential roadblocks in what you're trying to do. So I think you need to look at them like as clearly as possible, and then kind of choose the best action to take based on the information that you have. So some of those noises for me like might be, finding a co-founder is a good one. So I talked to a lot of different people. Some people are technical, some people are non-technical, and try to see if, number one, like they're passionate about the project and the problem that we're trying to solve, and if they'd be a good co-founder. And so, at the same way that you kind of decide what you want, or which kind of path of life that you want to go down, you kind of prototype those conversations with those people, or prototype whatever noise is popping up into your head. Like, it's there for a reason. It's because you're like a creative person, and those thoughts are popping up. So you shouldn't discount them. You should like take a little stab at them, and see if they have any validity. Maybe like run a little experiment or prototype or whatever, to see if what you're thinking is true, to validate those assumptions. And then if that does feel good to you, and it makes sense logically, then you can continue down that path, and that means that noise is actually a good, like a blessing, like it happened to you, for a good reason.
And what was the experiment?
The experiments. So, I mean, you can run an experiment on everything.
Yeah, totally.
To some extent, maybe it's not like a empirical test, but like, yeah, you.
No, I get you. Yeah, not an empirical test. Yeah, I get you. But like just by talking to someone, see, to some extent, obviously you get to know, like, the reason, like before this like podcast also, the reason I wanted to, connect with you over a call is that, that it's really important to get to know that, as much as it is important for me, obviously, when I'll be like kind of sharing the other person's opinions. So it's like, to some extent, I'm shedding light on them as well. And it's like, that conversation should be like a learning experience for the both of us, because investing 1 or 2 hours of your life is not a small thing, especially when you don't know someone, like we don't know each other. But like I just felt that in your content, obviously, and then yeah, like we just connected. But like I totally get you on that. Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, I'm glad to connect with you, Johnny. So I think the main thing is to like, obviously it's maybe it's not obvious, maybe it's not true for everyone, but like I think your parents play a big role in like in your decision making from a lifetime perspective. Like
Yeah, they
parents want
do.
their kids to be like doctors or lawyers, or just have like a good full time job.
Yeah.
Uh, and the thing is to remember that they really just want the best for you. So they're looking at their experiences and what they've seen, and the risks that come with those kind of choices, and they want you to do something that's like I think they really want you to be fulfilled and be happy, right? Uh, but at the same time, like it's probably not the best for them to be like, yeah, just do like whatever you want, like go put all your money in Bitcoin or something like that. Like even though that is like a risk that you want to take, maybe not Bitcoin, but like quitting your job to start a business, like that's it's probably not like the best piece of advice that someone on the outside looking in could give. Uh, but they don't have all the information, so they don't know like how you feel day to day. They don't know a lot of information, like maybe like how financially stable you are, how confident you are in your ability to achieve the thing that you want to achieve, and then also like they don't know how you're going to feel if you fail, because like it's not their regret, it's your fail. And so, or if you don't try.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that plays a big role, I would say.
Yeah. And I think if it's like someone from the external other than your parents, like, I think for like my parents are pretty cool, but to some extent, contextualizing your parents' opinion is also like very important, because yeah, like you said, like they tell you something from their perspective, because like obviously there is a gen gap and everything. Like my parents do understand whatever I say. Like we contradict a lot, like we contradict as hell, but I really love them because they like do not shut up whatever my opinion is on something or whatever I kind of want to do. But yeah, like to some extent what the people from the external environment say, that is something I you should not let it get to you in one way.
Yeah.
And pretty much no one cares what you do. We think people care, but people actually don't care. So yeah, like you have it, like you're still building your app, but what do you think is the hardest thing about being a CEO?
What's the hardest thing? I think. I mean, there's a lot of hard things. I've never really thought about like what's the hardest thing about being a CEO. I think. I guess the hardest thing is that like if you do fail or something, it's pretty much on you. So
Okay.
you got responsibility for like what happens. You got to take responsibility for yourself, and if you have a team, it's like you're the leader of the team, so you need to take that responsibility. And that's a lot of responsibility, right? So, and the bigger you are as a company or an app, the more responsibility that you have.
Yeah.
I also think that like if you're doing something that you're really passionate about and you really believe in the solution for the problem that you're trying to solve, then that responsibility is worth it. And I also think that it's good to have people in your network, the people that you surround yourself with, the community that you have, that understand you as a person. And if you do make a mistake, like my app has like a couple bugs, more than a couple, but I hope that people can see me as a person and not just like some far off distant person behind the computer. And like give me some leeway there, because I who I am. They know like my personality, and they know that like I'm not forgetting about them with those bugs. I do care about like the problems with the app and things like that. But because we're on that like more personal level, because I, am a little bit more vulnerable than maybe a lot of CEOs with like putting content, my personality out there. Then they'll give me the benefit of the doubt, and like I get to try more things in the app to see like what's actually going to work for people.
Yeah, exactly. And that is what I meant by, like just going on like Scrappy, because at least you've put it out there, obviously. And like when I'm also using it, I'm like, okay, check. But you like just get to know that, okay, like whenever you're using some other app, okay, you're like, okay, so we have everything on this app. Like there is nothing to, like just wonder about it. And so this is the reason I do not use like I use social media for my content, but I do not use it to, kind of just like come out of the shower and just click and just post it. So this is like what I feel is there for many other apps. And yeah, true enough. Tell me about the USP of your app, and with what is like the unique selling proposition of your app, and a little bit about your app, and like just appeal to everyone.
Sure. Yeah. So I think the one thing about Boost is that like a lot of other apps that you use, largely run by big tech companies, they use data to achieve their goals. So I thought, why not use your data to achieve your own goals?
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm a pretty like ambitious person, so I have a lot of goals for myself, and then I put a lot of pressure on myself to do certain things every day, whether it's like stay fit and healthy, by exercising or meditating or eating the right foods and things like that. And so all of those things are habits. And I think actually it was stated pretty well in James Clear's book called Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits, yeah.
You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the levels of your systems. So if you have good systems in place, that's a lot of that is your environment. Then you're like a lot more likely to achieve your goals and like do the things that you want to do every day. And so, look at your environment today, the things that you're exposed to. A lot of people, a lot of their environment is actually like on their phone. Right? So we spend a ton of time on our phone. We don't even realize it. And so that is actually a big part of what our environment consists of. And I was thinking like, is our environment optimized to help us achieve our goals? Is it optimized to get us to stick to the things that we want to stick to? And I would say it's not. It's like,
it's not.
A lot of our phone and what we're spending the time on, and like in the web browser or whatever on your laptop, it's optimized for the goals of other people. But if we can specify what our goals are, with the app, it's just like small little habit goals, but hopefully someday a lot bigger goals. And then have that environment optimized for us. The way that we want it to be. Then we're essentially like changing our systems, changing our environment to help us achieve those goals. And so that's like what I think the kind of the foundation for starting Boost was. And data plays a big role in like goal in optimizing things in order to achieve goals. And so what Boost is basically like kind of like Instagram mixed with the habit tracker. And so you can join habit groups for accountability. You can hire habit coaches. And then you can also see content that's like hopefully someday optimized to help you achieve your goals and stick with them. Right now, it takes a lot of data to properly optimize a feed. But it's one step at a time, and the more people that use Boost, the better it will get at helping people achieve their goals. So So yeah, so that's kind of a little bit about the app. And the longer term vision is that you have like this little habit goal, like exercising every day, and the content that you might see is like a little tip, like put your gym clothes by the front door so that you're more likely to see them and grab them on the way out to work or school, so that you're more likely to exercise. And that exercising every day is this metric, goal that you're trying to achieve. But in the future, kind of like Amazon started out selling books, but now they sell everything.
Yep.
And they provide the infrastructure for like half of the web, the internet, like with AWS. We want to start out helping people with small habit goals, but eventually helping people achieve any habit or any goal, whether that's getting into Stanford or getting a certain job or not having cancer, anything that you can measure. And that sounds kind of crazy, right? But like you can essentially put a metric on almost anything.
Yep.
There's a way to measure anything. And so if you can optimize your environment for achieving that, whatever metric goal that you set for yourself, then you can, be more likely to achieve it. So that's the long-term vision for Boost. And then also about the infrastructure, there needs to be a way to connect people that have goals with people who want to help them achieve those goals. So that becomes like the infrastructure for like people helping other people. And so that's also a big part of Boost.
Okay, that's really nice. And people just go and download the app. It's there on the App Store. So whosoever has an iPhone can download it. And it's really amazing because at the end of the month, when you see check, it just gives you that level of, satisfaction. And like you just feel like doing more after that. Because firstly, you'll see the difference you have in anything. For example, if your goal is exercising, you'll see difference in your body, and it will definitely, help you achieve more. Not only that, you're able to also keep a track of what other people are doing. So that also makes you to some extent, guilty about not exercising, and so you go back to exercising. So again, it's better for you. So just go and download the app. Basically, the game is like a rapid fire. Okay, you have to answer in like one word or one sentence maximum, and one sentence is like 5 to 8 words, not more than that. Okay, and so like not many people are able to stick to it, but yeah, that's the challenge. Okay, so here you go. The first question is, one habit of yours that you're trying to quit at this point.
Checking likes and followers on Instagram.
Oh, okay. I can completely feel you. Okay. Like not on Instagram, but like somewhere on LinkedIn. Okay. One habit of yours that you're really proud of.
Exercising.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I saw the pull-up video, by the way. Okay. Okay. What are the 3 big pillars that Boost Habit Tracker stands for?
I would say achievement, connection, and fulfillment.
Okay. Yeah, it actually does bind everything. Okay. Yeah, nice. Okay. When you're having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better?
Drink water.
Okay.
Or talk to people.
Okay. Best thing said by someone on you building this app.
So just seeing people's eyes light up when they use it or when they hear about it.
Okay. What is the worst thing said by someone on you quitting your job and starting the Boost app?
Oh, everyone's been pretty nice, but
Are you kidding me?
no, everyone's pretty nice. I think. I mean, the worst thing is like, are you sure? Like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. What would you want to be remembered by?
helping people achieve their goals.
Okay. Okay. Most difficult thing about inculcating a habit is
Actually, I think one of the most difficult things is trying and failing,
okay.
because you think you have to try and you might fail again.
What is it about entrepreneurialism that makes you lose your marbles, or maybe that makes you like kind of freaked out?
I guess I would say like not being able to do it forever. Like if I have to get a job,
Okay.
I want to
Yeah.
get a job.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. No, that was a nice answer. Not being able to do it forever. Yeah. So basically, the thought of it, you know.
Mhm.
Okay. And what is it about entrepreneurialism that makes you feel that it'll be worth it?
The growth. So I'm growing in the ways that I really want to grow, and that's
Okay.
worth it.
The growth is like really inclusive, I think, you know. Thank you so much, Jake, for joining me today. Like I had like a lot of fun, and okay, and yeah, I hope that we stay connected like in future also. And you can, so everyone, to whosoever who's listening to this, just please go follow Jake on TikTok and go follow him on Boost Productivity Jake on Instagram. And also his personal Instagram is Jake's Data, so you can reach out to him about anything. Download the Boost app, the Boost Habit Tracker app, and you set your own motivations and goals and reach, you know, like work on them. And I hope everyone just had a lot of fun in today's conversation. And all the lazy asses, just go and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Spotify channel of the Blossoming Chronicle. And if it's too much commitment, follow the LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook page for the tidbits from the episodes. Until the next time, just keep blossoming, and yeah, just have a really fun weekend, everyone. Yep. Thank
Thanks,
you
Johnny.
so thank you so much, Jake, for joining me.
Thank you, Johnny.